Today on Treasure Hunting America, we'll travel to the hills above Lake Havasu City, Arizona, to prospect for gold and meteorites with Sallee.
When you dig up a nugget, you're the first person to bring it out of the ground. You're the first person to see it and touch it. When you find something that's been lying there on the ground for 20,000 years and you're the first person to pick it up and you realize you're holding a piece of outer space, that's just pretty cool.
We'll also visit with Jeri Markinson, who hunts for treasure along Lake Havasu for what the vacation crowd left behind.
Lake Havasu is a very popular area. On weekends during the summer, people come down in their boats and they tend to lose things.
All coming up on Treasure Hunting America. Hello and welcome to another episode of Treasure Hunting America. I'm your host, Mark Hendricks. For the next half hour, we'll share some amazing stories of everyday treasure hunters across the country, discovering vast antiquities and caches of yesteryear. As an avid coin collector in her childhood, the hobby of treasure hunting came easily to Sue. Her residence in Lake Havasu, Arizona provides many opportunities for gold prospecting and treasure hunting.
I got started metal detecting 25 years ago. I was a coin collector. My interest in coin collection came from my childhood. My father's job took him all over the world, and when we didn't have to be in school, we got to go with him. So we lived in a lot of different European countries, and they had coins that had kings and queens and animals and flowers on them, and I just thought that they were so interesting compared to the coins that we have in the US. But then as an adult, I took more of an interest in coin collecting for US coins. When I got my first metal detector, the very first thing I found was a 1919 wheatback penny, and I found it in my backyard. And I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and I dug a hole that was about this big and this deep because the coin kept rolling from the side of the hole down to the bottom because I didn't know how to pinpoint, but I was so excited. At heart, I'm a treasure hunter. I think it goes beyond metal detecting. Before I bought my first detector, I was digging in old dumps and screening things out of dumps, and I'm always looking at the ground and picking things up, and I'm always dragging things home. Some people don't think of looking for things. I just like to find things.
For Sue, this passion for finding things of the past changed her perspective on a subject she didn't appreciate growing up: history.
For me, it comes from wanting to learn about what I've found. It's taught me a lot about history. It's taught me to appreciate history and to want to learn about it. When I was a kid, I hated history. That was the absolute worst class. My attitude was, who cares about memorizing all those names and places and dates of all those dead people? What does that have to do with me? But once I started finding things and wanting to know who owned this and how long has it been in the ground, history became alive for me, and I started really getting interested in it because you are digging pieces of history.
The hobby of metal detecting has been predominantly a male activity, but that doesn't bother Sue. She thrives on being in the outdoors with her friends.
There's a group of 6 of us, and we go out together every chance we get. We take 2 or 3 4-wheel drive vehicles, and we'll go out and we'll spend the day, and we have a ball at it. But this is predominantly a hobby for men. I don't know why more women don't get involved in this. I think a lot of it has to do with not wanting to get dirty. It's the women that get involved in this are the type that are more outdoors related, more sports related, more camping and hiking related than indoors. I have quite a few meteorites that I found in Gold Basin. It's a fairly well-known meteorite field that's a couple of hours drive from here, so it's easy for me to get to it. The Gold Basin meteorite fell to Earth 20,000 years ago. And it's a piece of outer space. And when you find something that's been lying there on the ground for 20,000 years and you're the first person to pick it up and you realize you're holding a piece of outer space, that's just pretty cool.
When we return, Sue will take us out into the Arizona desert to find gold nuggets and share a special find relating to World War II and General Patton.
Today we're hunting in a location that is just outside Lake Havasu City. We're in an area that the locals call the Red Hills, and in the history books it's called the Chemehuevi Placers. Gold has been found here for at least the last 150 years. The soldiers from Fort Mojave were here in 1842 digging gold. They came in on burros. During the Depression era, the old-timers came here and mined for gold because they couldn't make a living doing anything else. My focus for research has changed since I moved to Arizona. Lake Havasu City was founded in 1964, so we don't have anything old here. We don't have old buildings and old parks and schools and old picnic grounds where I can go and find old coins. But we have gold. And all around us, we live in an area where you can go hunt for gold nuggets. And we have the lake. And so in the wintertime, I'm out hunting for gold nuggets. In the summertime, when it's too hot to be out in the desert, I'm down at the lake looking for jewelry and money and anything people have lost. Nugget hunting is my favorite aspect of metal detecting because there's so much of it here. When I lived in Northern California, there was more history and I spent a lot of time digging up old silver coins. But then I got bit by the gold bug. When I first started finding gold was when whites came out with their first gold detectors, the Goldmaster II, and I was fortunate to live close enough to the Sierra Nevada mountain range that I could go up there on the weekends and hunt for gold, and once I started finding gold, that was just real special. We had a lot of rain this winter, and it took these washes and moved a lot of dirt right down to the bedrock. I'm getting a faint signal right here. When you get a faint signal like that, that tells me that it's either a tiny nugget or it's a larger object that's deep. But since we're hunting right on top of bedrock, it's probably something very small. So I like to move the dirt a little bit at a time so I don't fling the nugget and then have to go and find it again.